Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm Dr. Maha Munib, and I'm going to talk to you about note-taking strategies for today. Our objectives are going to cover the importance of notes, tips for notes, and types of notes. Our second point on the objectives is why should students take notes? Why are notes important for students, and especially for university students? Notes actually are really important because they keep you alert and they keep your mind engaged. What does that mean? It means that if you are listening to a lecture or watching a video or attending class without your notes, your mind could go astray. You can think of something else or be busy with something else. This is what we call the passive audience. But if you are going to take notes, you're going to be active. Your mind is going to be alert and engaged and involved, asking questions or maybe highlighting some points that you would need to follow up later on. Notes are also very important because they emphasize and they organize information. After you finish your class or you finish your video, you will need to know what were the ideas discussed, and you will need to follow up on those ideas and highlight the parts that were really challenging or confusing or maybe not clear for you. So notes are going to highlight those parts and will organize your ideas. And when you have notes by the end of the semester or by the end of the lecture, if you want to take it lecture by lecture, by the end of each class, you will have created a condensed record of study. What does that mean? It means that you will have a record to what you listen to that will enable you to go back to it whenever you want to, and will give you the chance to study the ideas, the concepts, the new things very well in an organized and clear manner. Okay, so what should students look for when they are taking notes? Are they going to take notes of everything in the video they are watching, for example? Or are they going to take notes of everything their instructor is saying in the classroom, which is going to be impossible actually? So you need to know what to look for when taking notes. One of the most important things when you take notes is to look for main ideas. You may be watching a video or attending class, and the content of that class or the content of that video are full of ideas and details and things, but you should be selective. You should learn how to be selective, and in this respect, you need to know what to look for, and main ideas are the things that you should be looking for. You should not be looking for all the details and minor things. No, you should be looking for main ideas that will help you make a whole or a full picture of the whole thing. Also, you should be looking for keywords. Keywords involve dates, names, maybe names of places. It depends on the content you are taking notes for. But one of the things that identify keywords are dates, names, maybe definitions, maybe in the video or in the classroom. You are listening to an important definition of a certain concept or a theory. That's also important in your notes. Signal words or phrases such as there are 4 examples of so and so, or to sum it up, you should be looking for so and so, or a major reason why this happened. You see the signal words here, like there are 4, or to sum it up, or a major reason why. We call these signal words or signal phrases because after those signal words and signal phrases usually comes something important, an important idea, an important concept, an important theory. So you should be looking for those signal words as well. You also have to look for repeated words. You should be alert to repeated words or concepts because once they are repeated, this means that they are important. Suppose that you're reading a book or a chapter from a book or an article or whatever, and you find something that is repeated several times, some ideas, some words, some concepts that are repeated several times during the whole thing. This means that this is important and you should be taking notes of, because this repetition is not haphazard. This repetition is to stress or to confirm to the reader or to the audience or whoever that this is something important. Also, final remarks often provide a summary. Like, for example, at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about this and that. This is a summary remark. This is to sum it up. So this is important for you as well. Or if you're attending class and your instructor says, okay, this is the end of our class, and I think we can sum up the ideas into 1, 2, 3. This is also important, and you should be taking notes for. Um, those are the ideas that you should be looking for when you are taking notes. Now, what are the types of notes? We have different types for notes because every one of us is a different learner. And maybe I would take a way for notes that is not suitable for someone else. So we have different types for notes. We have clustering, or what we call mapping. We have outlining and the Cornell method. All of the three types, and actually we have more types, but we are going to concentrate only on those three types. All of those types are really helpful and useful to students, and I think you should learn all of them, but then when you come to choose taking notes, you choose whatever type you want to perform. Okay, clustering or mapping, as you can see on the slide here, is one type of note-taking. It's like a chart that has visual things about it. What do I mean by visual? It's very good for visual learners because it makes you imagine the ideas of relationships between those things. If you look at the center idea here, or the main idea, making apple pie, this is the main idea, and branches out making pie filling, making pie crust, baking the pie, and out of those little ideas here, making pie crust, and baking, branches out other sub-ideas. So the main idea here is making apple pie, and you can see how it branches out into different things. So clustering or mapping is a very good way for taking notes, especially for visual learners who would like to visualize things and see things in front of them. It's really an organized way, and it's really good to make you see relationships between things, as you can see here on the slide, and the relationship between the main idea and the details. The details could be causes of that main idea, or effects of that main idea, or solutions for that main idea. So it's a very good way to visualize the relationship between a main idea and sub-ideas. Well, outlining is another way for note-taking, and it's also organized, and it divides ideas into main ideas and sub-ideas, or main topics and subtopics. So it's like making a list of things. So you can kind of list the main ideas, all the main ideas of the text you're reading, or the video you watched, or the class you attended. You divide things into main ideas and sub-ideas, or main topics and subtopics. So you make a list of the main idea or main topic, and then underneath that you have the subtopic, maybe subtopic 1, 2, or 3, and it goes the same way for the second main idea, the third main idea, and so on. So outlining is also another way or another method for taking notes, and it is easy to turn those sub-ideas into questions, into points to focus on while you are studying, and into questions that you can trigger that would help you also see relationships between things, and would also help you to organize your ideas. So you can turn those sub-ideas into questions, study questions that can help you grasp the idea or grasp the whole thing in a very clear manner. The Cornell method is also one very common way of taking notes. It's very popular and it's very well known among students. As you can see on the slide here, you divide the page into two columns. And underneath those two columns, you have a section for the summary. So the first column on the left side of the page is for key questions, or essential questions, or key ideas. And the second column on the right side of the page is for making notes about those questions, or trying to answer those questions. For For example, why should I ask questions in class? This is one key question or one essential question. And the answer for that, it keeps you engaged in lesson. Teacher views you as a good student. You see, you are trying to answer the questions you triggered. So you turn your notes into key questions or essential questions, and you try to find answers for those questions, or you comment on those questions in a way that, oh, this is a confusing question. You can tell yourself something like that, or this is not clear, or this should be stressed, or this should be highlighted, whatever kind of comment you would like to make. So the Cornell method is very important as well because it gives you a chance to summarize all those ideas. Once you finish the question part and the comments part, you have the summary section underneath at the end, at the bottom of your paper. The summary section is to summarize all the major ideas you discussed in your notes. So as if you are reading a summary of the whole thing. So you attended class and the instructor, for example, had questions about 1, 2, 3. Those questions are usually, for example, you can comment on the questions. Those questions were clear, or they made the concept clearer, or I was confused on that point, but then another student asked another question and I got a clearer picture of the whole thing. This is what you write in your summary. You summarize all the ideas that were discussed in the classroom or in the video you were watching, and it gives you a chance to summarize ideas. So you have a ready summary by the end of the class, and when you finish writing your notes in the Cornell method, you would have a summary that would remind you of what was going on, or would remind you of the main ideas that were discussed. So in the conclusion, note-taking is really important, and is really important for students because it organizes your ideas, it engages your mind in what's going on, and it summarizes all those main ideas that you have either watched in a video, or when you attended class, or when you were reading an article or a chapter or a book or whatever text you're reading. So you need note-taking. Note-taking organizes, engages, and summarizes ideas. Okay, this is the reference page. If you would like to go back to any of those references for further reading or for further help, you can check those references. Hope you enjoyed it and understood the meaning behind note-taking, or why it's important, the ways of taking note-taking, and how to do it in a clear, organized manner. Thank you for watching this.